Hello class, it's Aidan The Hostile here again for another episode of Ask the Viking. Today I have two questions. The first one is about raiding. How does a Viking determine if a village is a good raid? So Vikings, they were pretty smart. They liked undefended areas. They liked to be able to get in, take everything they wanted, and get out before somebody could drive them away or the town defense showed up. They specifically liked monasteries because there was a lot of wealth in these monasteries. A lot of gold, a lot of jewelry, things like that. A prime example of this would be Lindisfarne, which was raided in 793. They got in, destroyed the monastery, and got out. Took some of the priests with them, took a lot of the riches that were there. These were prime targets, easy pickings. The raids started in the late 8th century. Like I said, they raided Scotland, they raided Ireland, they raided England. They established trading posts all across these areas. They raided Europe's western seaboard in the 9th century, up and down the coast, all over, anywhere they could. But like I said, they preferred areas that were less defended or undefended. Their raids were so savage and so plentiful that eventually England and parts of Francia created what they called a Danegeld, which is they would pay the Vikings to go away. So imagine you're a king in England and the Vikings show up one day. Somebody got this great idea and said, hey, what if we just give them a bunch of gold so they don't destroy our town, burn our town, kill our people, and all that. Maybe they'll just take the gold and leave. Well, that's exactly what the Vikings did. They said, sure, we'll take your gold. And guess what? They were back again the following year. So raiding was very profitable for the Vikings. They got a lot of good stuff out of that. So that was not anything that they were going to stop doing anytime soon. The next question I have is about war. Maggie D asks, how was the war? Well, Maggie, I'll tell you this. War is hell. The Vikings tried to conquer England many, many times through the years. In 865, they raised what was called the Great Heathen Army. It was 2,000 to 3,000 men, and they went to conquer England. They made their way through the English countryside, taking control of different areas until they got to Wessex and were defeated. They were driven back out of Wessex, but not out of England entirely. A number of them stayed, settled, raised families, etc., while the rest went on back to Scandinavia. Over the next 3 centuries, power between the English and the Vikings went back and forth, until in 1066, a Norwegian king by the name of Harald Hardrada lost the last, quote, Viking attack on England. However, later that year, also 1066 mind you, William of Normandy, otherwise known as William the Conqueror, sailed across the sea from Normandy to battle the English and beat them at the Battle of Hastings. Now, he is a Viking by proxy, in my opinion, because he was the descendant of Vikings who had settled in Normandy. So, because of this, because of him beating the English and taking control of England, he started a new generation that would continue through today and ensure that there was a lot of Viking influence in England. So, I hope that answers your question. This is Aidan the Hostile, and I will be back for another episode very, very soon. But until then, remember, pillage first, then burn.